One with Colin Thompson is brought to you by title sponsors Cricketstar.net, the online cricket league administration, results and statistical management system, providing you with information beyond the cricket boundaries.
Well, they have been Cup, and they used to be playing on Wednesdays. It would start at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And on a Wednesday, I kept home from school early, hoping that we were short. But the guys we couldn't get time off from work. And I mean, you get a game here and there by doing that as well. And that's how I sort of got into the Melbourne setup.
So it sounds like you had a lot of determination and you were willing to stick it out and grasp your chance when it came. It kind of sounds like later on in your career when you did break into the West Indies team, you wasn't the strike bowler in the beginning. You had people like Joe Garner and Malcolm Marshall, and you would be lower down the bowling order. But you got your moment in. You grasped it with both hands.
Yes, I certainly did. I mean, when I started, you had Michael Holden, Joel Garner, Malcolm Marshall. Those are the guys I came into the team with. And I didn't even get a ball in my first test match. A lot of people didn't even realize or remember that. But then in the second innings, I think a ball for 2 hours into the wind, and I think that's where Clive realized that, well, there's something about me. And I was just always committed to the team, whichever team I played in. I gave 100% commitment to that team in whatever role or capacity. And in that particular test match, we were having problems with Joel and Mikey and Malcolm. We weren't able to bowl into the wind, into what we call a Fremantle back at the time. I would say we weren't able to bowl, weren't as comfortable as they wanted them to be. And I put my hand up as a youngster player for the first time and said, I'll do it. And I did it for 2 hours on the trot. And I think that's where I sort of got my break under Clive's captaincy.
And also you eventually ran on to captain the West Indies in 22 test matches.
Yes, I did, and that was a tremendous honor that was bestowed upon me and something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And it was just a privilege to have captained some of the greatest players that played for the West Indies. And just from out of little Jamaica, me to be captain, and the proudest moment was in Australia when the national anthem played on Australia Day. And it's something that I will always remember. Pity I didn't have a tape of it to keep looking at, but it was something that I will always remember.
And obviously you've accomplished much throughout your career. Is it any milestone that stands out in particular?
Well, obviously, when I started, I was happy just to get 2 test wickets, because when we talk to each other from bowlers' perspective, that would have been a good number because of the quality of bowlers that we had. So to be the first to 500 and to have the world record, that to me was a special milestone. That it was hard work, but it was something I was pleased to be able to say, yes, I did that, and up to today, it was one of the proudest moments of my cricketing career to say I was the first to 500 and I once held the world record.
I think you carry that, a symbol of that. Do you have it with you?
It's here somewhere.
You all may not know, but Mr. Walsh has his wicket haul 519 on his pendant, a cricket ball pendant. Yeah. Which I'm sure he cherishes, and he probably cherishes the 421 wickets that you and your strike partner, Courtney Ambrose, bagged during that lethal partnership.
Definitely, and I mean, someone pointed out to us in Australia, recently we were both in Australia, and the guy says, do you realize it's a world record in terms of bowling together as fast bowlers? Well, as any bowling combination in 49 test matches, 421 wickets, and I wasn't aware of it at the time, so it even becomes more special then.
Brilliant, brilliant. So we just need to, now we're just going to invite our viewers, members of the public. They can call in and maybe they want to offer some well wishes or give some of their thoughts on this Melbourne cricket tour. The number to call us is 295-2828. That number again, 295-2828. And we invite you to call. So, Mr. Atkinson, moving on, you said that Walsh is a role model, obviously, and an inspiration. What is it like, the kids, do they feed off, and particularly the fast bowlers? They're always picking his brain.
I'm sure they do that. We have a summer camp every year in around August time, and he's part of it. He's always there. My son, okay, at 5 years old.
Okay, just 1 minute, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Sportsbook hostess, Mr. Walsh, and everyone else in the building.
Good evening.
My name is Cameron, and I go to Soltis Grammar School. And I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Walsh on the 500 wickets and ask him how did it feel when he finally broke that record.
Thank you. Thank you, Cameron. Mr. Walsh?
It was a tremendous feeling to know that you hold a world record, not just a West Indian record, it was a world record at the time. So it was a tremendous feeling to know that the whole world would recognize that you have done something that you have always dreamt of doing.
Great, so that's answering Cameron. Okay. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. I just want to big up Courtney Walsh, telling this is what up from my sister Paulette.
Okay, that's...
Okay, hi Paulette, how you doing?
Hey, Courtney, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, this is Roddy Thomas' sister.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All right, big up.
All right, take care.
Thank you, caller.
It's ready to the singer.
No, the footballer.
Okay.
So, going forward, obviously we're looking to, potentially bring on more tours. Bermudians may be going down to Jamaica to play at Melbourne, and the Melbourne coming here. But also the youngsters during this tour, were there any interaction or, some of the guys coming over and asking you perhaps, Courtney, some of the local guys asking for advice from you? Did you experience any of that?
Not on this particular trip. It has happened before, but I don't know if they were shy or, because I was the manager, I'm not sure, but none of them came on this particular trip, but it has happened in the past. But all of my guys seek me out and they were asking advice as to how to bowl fast, what to do, and plus I've coached a few of them before, so they're aware of what's happening.
Okay. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Colin. I have a few questions for Courtney Walsh, please.
Okay.
Number one, I wanted to ask him how much did he prepare as far as extras when he was in training, on his own, as far as running golf courses or beaches or laps? Because I can recall in 1993 when Bermuda went to Jamaica, watching him run around Sabina Park, and he ran about 10 or 12 laps continually, and I wanted to know, was that a regular thing that he did? Second question, how important is it for batsmen or bowlers rather, to assess batsmen when they come to bat? Like, did he do a lot of video watching, or did it primarily happen during the game as far as tendencies that batsmen like, so for instance, like to drive or like to play off the back foot? And three, how early did he used to come to matches as far as pre-match warm-ups? How important was that? Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
The first one, yes, I used to train very, very hard. In fact, I remember being at Melbourne running, and the people used to laugh at me because I was just going around too many times, and they used to call me the running man. So that paid off for me there, because I always wanted to be physically fit, so I did a lot of training. I didn't go into the gym to get bulky. I just did a lot of repetitions and bowled a lot as well, so that I was able to stay fit with that. I watch highlights and tapes of batsmen whenever I got the chance to make sure I had an idea of their strengths and weaknesses, and then you try to work on that. So those are two of the questions that he asked. What was the third one?
And the batsman watching the technique.
No, that was the second one.
Yeah.
I just answered that. There was another question he had asked about
Before the match, the warm-ups, yes.
Yeah, it was key to warm up properly before a game, because the minute you get warmed up properly, then you will avoid injuries. And that's one of the things that I used to stress, and stretching as well was the key role for me in terms of warming up and warming down after, because sometimes you warm up and if you don't warm down, you might pull a muscle.
Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Walsh.
Good evening, sir.
I just want to know, what's your opinion on the state of West Indies cricket now? Are you happy with it compared to the days when you was captain of the West Indies? And also, where do you see West Indies cricket in the next 5 years, in your opinion?
Well, in my humble opinion, I think in the earlier days I was a lot happier when we were a lot...
One-on-One with Colin Thompson is brought to you by title sponsors Cricketstar.net, the online cricket league administration, results and statistical management system, providing you with information beyond the cricket boundaries.